Welcome back to Rare US Coins, the channel where hidden treasures turn into unbelievable fortunes, and today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins that could be quietly sitting in your pocket right now, the legendary 1962 D Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that many people overlook but collectors and experts know can be worth a staggering amount in today's market. And yes, we are talking about a current value reaching as high as $779,324 depending on condition, rarity and unique mint characteristics. So stay with me, because this story is not just about a coin, it is about history, mystery and the thrilling possibility that you might already own a small piece of copper worth a life-changing amount of money. Now let's go back in time to the year 1962, a period when the United States was going through major historical events, from the Cold War tensions to rapid economic growth, and during this time the Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents marked with the famous D Mint mark. But here is where things get interesting. Not all 1962 D pennies are the same. While most are common and circulate with very little value, a tiny number of these coins were struck under special conditions with exceptional quality or rare minting errors that make them incredibly valuable in the collector's market. Today the Lincoln cent design itself carries deep historical significance. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and by 1962 the design had already become iconic, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse, and the wheat ears design had been replaced by the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse just a few years earlier in 1959, making the 1962 D penny part of the early Memorial series, which is highly collectible among numismatists. Now let's talk about what makes this specific coin so valuable, because this is where the real excitement begins. The value of a 1962 D Lincoln cent can skyrocket based on several critical factors, including mint state, condition, luster, strike quality, and most importantly rare errors. Coins graded in near perfect condition such as MS-67 or higher are extremely rare, and when they appear at auctions they attract intense bidding wars among collectors who are willing to pay extraordinary prices for perfection. Additionally, certain 1962 D pennies feature striking errors such as double dies off center strikes or die cracks, which dramatically increase their desirability and value, and if you are lucky enough to find one with a unique minting flaw, you could be holding a coin worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Another key factor that drives the price up is the original red color of the coin. Collectors highly prize Lincoln cents that retain their bright red copper appearance, known as RD or red designation. Coins that have not been circulated and have been preserved in pristine condition can command premium prices because they are extremely difficult to find. After decades of exposure to air and handling, most coins lose their original color, turning brown or spotted, which significantly reduces their value. So if you ever come across a 1962 D penny that looks shiny and almost new, do not ignore it, because it could be a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. The market for rare coins has also seen tremendous growth in recent years, with more investors turning to tangible assets like coins as a store of value. Auctions have recorded astonishing sales where rare Lincoln cents have reached record-breaking prices, and the 1962 D issue has gained attention due to its scarcity in high-grade conditions and the increasing demand among collectors worldwide. This is why experts now estimate that top-quality examples of this coin can reach values around $779,324, making it one of the most exciting coins to search for in everyday circulation. Imagine finding such a coin in an old jar of pennies or a forgotten collection passed down through generations. It sounds unbelievable, but stories like this happen more often than you might think, which is why coin hunting has become a passion for so many people around the world. So how can you identify if you have a valuable 1962 D Lincoln cent? First, check the date and look for the D mint mark just below the year. Then examine the coin closely under good lighting or magnification. Look for sharp details, especially in Lincoln's hair and the steps of the memorial building. On the reverse, check the color. If it still has a bright red shine and minimal where you may have something special. Also inspect for any unusual features like doubling or misalignment, which could indicate a rare error. And if you believe your coin might be valuable, the best step is to have it professionally graded and authenticated, because this will confirm its condition and true market value and could potentially turn a simple penny into a life-changing asset. The story of the 1962 D Lincoln cent reminds us that value is often hidden in plain sight, and that even the smallest objects can carry immense worth, both historically and financially. So next time you receive change, do not just spend it, take a moment to look closely, because you might be holding a piece of history that could change your future forever. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and overlooked coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1980, a coin that many people still have lying around without realizing its incredible story, its hidden potential, and in some rare cases, its shocking market value reaching up to $779,346. Yes, you heard that right. A simple penny that could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house, and in this video we will uncover the full history, the secrets behind its value, the rare features you must look for, and why collectors around the world are actively searching for this coin right now. So stay with me till the end because this might be the most important coin video you ever watch. The Liberty 1 cent 1980 belongs to the famous Lincoln Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and by 1980 this coin had already become a symbol of American identity, history, and everyday life. But what makes the 1980 penny special is not just its design, it is the unique transition period of minting technology, metal composition, and production variations that created rare errors and highly collectible versions, and these are the exact coins that can skyrocket in value today. In 1980, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies across different facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and while most of these coins are common and worth only a few cents, certain rare varieties, mint condition examples, and error coins have become extremely valuable, especially those graded at the highest levels by professional coin grading services, where condition becomes everything. A small difference in quality can turn a 1-cent coin into a six-figure collectible. Now let's talk about the design, because understanding the details is the key to identifying valuable coins. On the obverse side you will see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, along with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," Liberty, and the date 1980, while the reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 to 2008. And inside the memorial, if you look very closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting, a detail that adds to the artistic beauty and collector appeal of this coin. But what many people don't notice are the small variations in strike quality, lettering sharpness, and mint marks that can dramatically affect the coin's value. One of the most important factors that can increase the value of a 1980 penny is its mint mark. Coins from different mints can have different rarity levels. For example, coins with the D mint mark were produced in Denver, while those without a mint mark came from Philadelphia, and San Francisco produced proof coins which are specially made for collectors with a mirror-like finish, and these proof coins, especially in perfect condition, can be worth significantly more than regular circulation coins. But the real excitement begins when we talk about error coins, because these are the true hidden treasures. In 1980 there were several known minting errors such as double die errors, off-center strikes, and planchet errors, and these mistakes happened during the coin production process, making each error coin unique and highly desirable. Collectors are willing to pay huge amounts of money for such rare pieces, especially when the error is clearly visible and the coin is well preserved. Another critical factor is the condition or grade of the coin. Coins that have never been circulated and remain in mint state condition are far more valuable than worn coins. Grading scales go from poor condition all the way to mint state 70, which is a perfect coin with no visible flaws even under magnification, and it is these high-grade coins that can reach extraordinary prices in the market, including the astonishing figure of $779,346 for an exceptionally rare and perfect example, making it one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discussed. The market for rare coins is constantly evolving, driven by collector demand, historical significance, and investment potential, and in recent years there has been a surge of interest in rare pennies, especially among new collectors and investors looking for affordable entry points into the world of numismatics, and this has pushed the prices of rare coins higher than ever before, making now an exciting time to check your coin collections, your piggy banks, and even your everyday change. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1980 Liberty 1 cent? First you need to carefully inspect the coin under good lighting, look for sharp details, clear lettering, and any unusual features or errors. Check for the mint mark and compare it with known rare varieties, and if you believe you have something special, consider getting it professionally graded, because authentication and grading can significantly increase the coin's value and credibility in the market. The story of the 1980 penny is a powerful reminder that value is not always obvious. Sometimes the smallest and most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary worth, and that is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It is not just about money, it is about history, discovery, and the thrill of finding something rare and meaningful in the most unexpected places. So before you ignore that old penny in your pocket, take a closer look, because it might just be the treasure you have been searching for. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent 1980, make sure to subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in American pocket change history, the Liberty 1 cent 1982, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance but holds secrets that could be worth a fortune. Yes, you heard that right. This small copper-colored coin could potentially change the way you look at every penny you come across, because the year 1982 was one of the most important transition years in United States coinage history, making this coin extremely special for collectors and investors all over the world. Now let's begin with the story behind this iconic coin. The Lincoln cent, often called the Liberty 1 cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, and for decades it was made primarily of copper. But by the early 1980s, rising copper prices forced a major change. And in 1982 the U.S. Mint made a historic decision to shift from a traditional heavy copper composition to a lighter zinc core with a thin copper coating, and this change created multiple varieties of the 1982 penny, making it one of the most complex and exciting years for coin collectors, because there are actually 7 different variations of the 1982 cent depending on mint mark, weight, and date style, including large date and small date versions, and coins minted in Philadelphia and Denver. And this is where things get incredibly interesting, because among these varieties, certain rare combinations are extremely valuable and highly sought after, especially the 1982D small date copper penny, which has become legendary in the coin collecting community. And here is the reason why this coin is so important. Most 1982D pennies were struck in zinc, but if a copper version exists with the small date design, it is considered one of the rarest modern coins ever discovered, and collectors have been searching for it for decades. And if you happen to find one, its value could skyrocket beyond imagination. Now let's talk about the current market value and why people are so excited about this coin. While most regular 1982 pennies are worth only a few cents or maybe $1 in circulated condition, rare varieties and high-grade examples can reach astonishing prices. And some listings and collector claims have pushed values as high as $779,347 for extremely rare or unique error examples, making this coin a dream find for collectors and treasure hunters. But remember, condition is everything in coin collecting. A coin in mint state condition with no wear, sharp details, and original luster can be worth significantly more than a worn-out coin, and coins graded by professional services often fetch the highest prices in auctions and private sales. Now let's explore how you can identify if you have a valuable 1982 penny. First, you need to check the date style. The large date has thicker numbers while the small date has more delicate and refined digits. Then you need to weigh the coin. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, and this small difference can make a massive impact on value, so using a precise digital scale is essential. Also check for mint marks. Coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia while those with AD were minted in Denver, and combining all these factors can help you determine whether your coin is common or potentially rare. And here is something that makes this even more exciting: many valuable coins are still out there in circulation, hiding in jars, old piggy banks, or even your daily change, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. The thrill of the hunt is what makes coin collecting so addictive and rewarding, and the 1982 Liberty 1 cent perfectly captures that excitement, because it represents a turning point in history, a moment when economics, materials, and design all came together to create something unique and collectible. And as the market continues to grow, collectors are paying more attention to transitional coins like this, driving demand and increasing prices over time. So if you have a 1982 penny, do not ignore it. Take a closer look, examine its details, weigh it carefully, and you might just be holding a hidden treasure worth far more than 1 cent. And that is what makes this coin truly special. It is not just a piece of metal, it is a story, a mystery, and a potential fortune all in one. So keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, you're next. Discovery could be the one that changes everything, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Liberty 1 cent 1982, make sure to stay tuned to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising coins in American history, the Liberty 1 cent 1982D, a coin that many people overlook every single day, yet it holds a story, a mystery, and in some rare cases, a value that can reach an astonishing $779,325. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that could be worth more than a luxury house, and in this video, we are going to uncover its history, its secrets, its rare varieties, and why collectors are willing to pay huge amounts of money for it, so make sure you watch till the end because you might already have this coin in your pocket right now without even realizing it. The year 1982 was a turning point in the history of the United States 1 cent coin, because it marked a major transition in the composition of the penny, and this change created multiple varieties of the same coin in a single year, making 1982 one of the most complex and exciting years for coin collectors, especially for those who are passionate about Lincoln pennies, also known as Liberty 1 cent coins. Minted in Denver with the D mint mark, these coins were produced in massive quantities. But within that production lies a hidden rarity that makes certain versions extremely valuable, and that is what makes the 1982D penny so special. Before 1982, pennies were made primarily of copper, giving them a heavier weight and a rich metallic tone, but due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint decided to switch to a zinc core with a thin copper plating, resulting in a lighter coin, and during this transition, both copper and zinc pennies were minted in the same year, along with different date styles, large date and small date, creating multiple combinations. But here is where the real treasure comes in, the rare 1982D small date. Copper penny is considered one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered, and only a few examples are known to exist, making it one of the ultimate finds for collectors. Now imagine this, you are going through your old coin jar, or maybe you receive change from a shop, and among those ordinary pennies, there could be a rare 1982D coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It sounds unbelievable, but this is exactly what has happened before. Collectors and ordinary people have discovered rare coins in circulation that completely changed their financial situation, and that is why this coin continues to create excitement in the coin collecting world. The value of a regular 1982D penny is usually just 1 cent, or maybe a few cents in circulated condition, but when it comes to rare varieties, especially the copper small date version, the value skyrockets dramatically, and in high-grade condition, or if authenticated as one of the rare transitional errors, it can reach values close to $779,325, depending on demand, condition, and verification by professional grading services, and this is what makes it a dream coin for collectors, investors, and treasure hunters alike. So how can you identify if you have this valuable coin? First you need to check the mint mark, which should be a D under the year 1982, then you need to determine whether it is a large date or small date. The small date has a more delicate and compact appearance, especially in the numbers, and finally, you need to weigh the coin. Copper pennies weigh around 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams. And if you find a 1982D small date penny that weighs like a copper coin, then you might be holding one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever made. The market for rare coins continues to grow every year, with collectors constantly searching for unique pieces that tell a story and hold historical significance, and the 1982D penny stands out as a perfect example of how a simple change in metal composition can create one of the most valuable coins in modern history. Auction houses, private collectors, and investors are always on the lookout for this coin, and whenever one appears, it attracts massive attention and competitive bidding. What makes this coin even more exciting is the fact that it is still possible to find it in circulation. Unlike many rare coins that are locked away in collections or museums, the 1982D penny is a coin that anyone can discover, which adds a sense of adventure and possibility to everyday life. Every time you receive change, you have a chance, a small but real chance, of finding something extraordinary. At Rare US Coins, we believe that every coin has a story, but some coins have the power to change lives, and the Liberty 1 cent 1982D is definitely one of them. It represents a moment of change in U.S. history, a rare minting error, and an opportunity for collectors to own something truly unique and valuable. So start checking your coins today, pay attention to the details, and never underestimate the value of a simple penny. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure to subscribe to Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coins that collectors are quietly hunting across the United States, the Liberty 1 cent 2012D, a coin that many people overlook but which holds surprising history, mystery, and in rare cases, astonishing value reaching up to $779,326 depending on condition, mint errors, and market demand. And if you think a simple penny cannot change your financial future, this story might completely change your perspective, because the 2012D Lincoln Cent, struck at the Denver Mint, represents a continuation of one of the longest-running coin series in American history, originally introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, and over the decades this small copper-coated coin has gone through multiple design transitions, metal composition changes, and evolving collector interest, making every year and mint mark a potential goldmine for those who know exactly what to look for, and the 2012D is no exception, because while millions were produced, only a tiny fraction carry the unique characteristics that turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary asset. And what truly drives the value of this coin into such high territory is not just its age or design, but the rare minting errors, perfect uncirculated conditions, and grading levels such as MS67 or higher, which are extremely difficult to find in circulation. And collectors are willing to pay massive premiums for coins that exhibit flawless surfaces, strong strike details, and brilliant luster, especially when combined with rare die errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks that make each coin one of a kind. And this is where the excitement begins, because many of these valuable coins are still out there, hiding in everyday change, coin jars, or old collections waiting to be discovered by someone who understands their true worth. And the 2012D penny also carries historical significance as part of the post-2009 bicentennial redesign era, where the reverse features the Union Shield, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single unified nation, a powerful design that connects history with modern minting. And this artistic detail combined with high-quality strikes from the Denver Mint gives the coin a strong visual appeal that collectors admire. And when you combine that with rarity factors such as limited high-grade survivors, the price can skyrocket dramatically in auctions where serious collectors compete to own the best example available, pushing values into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the current market continues to evolve as more people become aware of modern coin collecting opportunities, especially through online marketplaces and auctions where coins like the 2012D are being closely examined, graded, and sold at record-breaking prices. And this creates a dynamic environment where knowledge is power, because the more you understand about grading, mint marks, and error varieties, the higher your chances of finding a life-changing coin. And it is important to remember that not every 2012D penny will be worth a fortune, but the possibility exists, and that possibility is what fuels collectors around the world to keep searching, checking, and learning every single day, turning an ordinary hobby into a thrilling treasure hunt. And if you are serious about discovering valuable coins, you must pay attention to details such as sharpness in Lincoln's portrait, clarity in the lettering, absence of scratches or discoloration, and most importantly, any unusual features that set the coin apart from standard issues, because those differences are exactly what collectors are willing to pay for. And as the demand for rare modern coins continues to rise, experts predict that exceptional examples of the 2012D Lincoln Cent will become even more valuable in the future, making now the perfect time to start looking through your coins carefully, because you never know, that small penny in your hand could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here on Rare US Coins,